morning and welcome to Morning Moments. I'm so glad that you came to join us today. I have somebody from Georgia, not too far from where I used to live, and she's in Alpharetta, Georgia. And Alpharetta. I'm sorry, Alpharetta. Alpharetta, Georgia. I don't know why I mispronounced that, I guess. But she's from Alpharetta, and I used to live in Woodstock. And she's she's an actress, but she does a lot of other things, and she'll tell us about that. But she's in the Hollywood of the South now. I mean, Atlanta's the big place where movies and TV is filmed. And so hopefully God's going to just continue to bless her there. She's been on TV and movies, things like Grey's Anatomy and Scandal and Unplanned and other things. But that's not why she's here today. She's here so that I could ask Robin DeMarco, welcome to Morning Moments, and tell me, what do you do and why do you do it?
Well, first of all, thank you, Andy. It's so nice to be here. What I do, my goal is to show the love of Christ. Oh. In a nutshell, that's my goal. Whatever that is, if that's in my job, if that's in my family, if that's, at Walmart, looking for someone who might need a smile. So yes, I'm an actress. And it's been, the last thing I did was a commercial in the end of this last year. So it's been a little bit slow, but that's okay, because the Lord has me right now as a personal trainer. That's something else I've been doing for the past about 15 years. Mm-hmm. And it's great because I get to go into people's houses. Because of COVID, some people still online, virtual, but I really get to know people, and I got to talk to them about Jesus and about my trials and how, he's pulled me through, and it's awesome. So, I just had somebody for the first time. Now, this is so crazy. She's actually not even a client anymore, but she just came to church with me on Easter. She's Hindu, and she said, I've always wanted to go to church. And it just boggles my mind, because you think, you think everybody knows, or everybody's, right. It's a simple thing. Just ask. I mean, it was just the simplest thing, just ask. So I really love it because I just love people. And I just really know that, God is, using me, not using me in the sense of using me, but co-laboring with me, if you will, in this way to really get to know people in a way I probably wouldn't be able to, because I see them sometimes 3 times a week. Yeah. And so that's why I do it. I love to do it because he's completely changed my life. I went from feeling basically tortured in my mind to being so set free that I just want other people to have that too. And
how long has it been since you've been, as you said, set free?
I would say about 9 years. I was a prodigal. I grew up in church and everything. And then I just, I walked away. There was, had an eating disorder and other things that started just kind of causing me to, go, I just can't take this. I don't know. It was more of I don't think it was my church's fault per se, but just, there was like a legalistic mindset I had that I picked up somewhere. And I just thought, I can't do this. I can't be perfect. I can't do this. I can't do this, which that wasn't what the true gospel was. But for some reason in my mind, that's what it was. And then kind of hit a personal rock bottom and found myself going back to church because I was just looking, I was searching. And that church really was kind of, for me, it felt very just ritualistic. It's like, this isn't what I'm looking for. I need help. I need the Savior. And then I found this church in California, because I've only been in Georgia for 5 years. I was in California for 17 and found this great church. And it just really was like, this is what it's about. And then I made that commitment to just completely surrender my life to the Lord. And my career, acting, things that I normally would have done, I'm like, I'm not compromising on that. So just, yeah, he turned my life completely around.
Yeah. And there is a change when you finally commit to Christ. There's some things that you used to do that you don't want to do. You have no desire to do because you represent somebody that's more important than yourself. Right.
Exactly. Exactly. It was funny. I was just listening. I listened to this podcast called The Bible Project. It's really great. And they're talking about the commandments, that one of the commandments, don't take the Lord's name in vain, and how a lot of people think, well, that just means don't cuss, don't say, his name as a curse word. But he was saying exactly what you're saying. It's so much more. It's like, my maiden name is Wendell. And it would be like, don't take, if you do something that's going to disparage our name, you're hurting the family name. And it's like, and we are priests of God, and we have, like the priest did, we belong to God, his name is on us. So it's not just saying like a curse word. It's like when we do something that misrepresents him, we are taking his name in vain. It's very, it's heavy, but it's true.
And there's a lot of folks out there like you who maybe knew of God or knew God when you were younger, but just life gets in the way and you just go a different direction, and God gets a hold of you and says, no, this is now time for you to surrender, right?
Yeah. I mean, if I was the seed on the path, I guess my soil didn't have the roots. I was, the world's troubles and things started coming my way, and I just didn't have the roots that really kept me focused and really in the Lord.
But the word was there. The word never returns. Oh, yeah. Never returns void.
Right.
I often, sometimes when my wife and I years ago, when we were involved 45, 46 years ago in children's ministry, sometimes we'd think, are these kids getting this at all? What we've been pouring out our heart out to them. But I think the Lord just shared with me one day, one of these kids are going to be in jail, and they hear in their head, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and all those scriptures that we give. And so it's the word that comes back to us, even as a small child.
That's right.
In the middle of our need, he says, I'm here. I've been here all along.
Yeah, totally true. His word does not come back void. So it's in there.
And something you said really made me think too, is that sometimes we try so hard to get God's approval. We try to get approval from man and ourself and everybody, but we also try to get God's approval. God doesn't love us any more or any less than he does right this second. I know. That blows me away, my mind every time I say it. I say that quite often because there's nothing I could do to cause God to love me any more than he does right now, or nothing I could do for him to say, I love you less. Mm-hmm. And to come to that conclusion, really, that's when you really surrender, don't you?
Exactly. Best.
So you've been telling me that you're acting. You haven't been doing as much acting, but God has opened those doors as a personal trainer. And it doesn't really, in a lot of ways, it doesn't matter what your occupation is. It's still if you're following the same purpose, God's putting people in front of you, isn't he?
Yep. That's my heart. I mean, I'm auditioning, and of course, sometimes you get disappointed. You're like, oh, I thought I was really right for that. Why didn't I get that? But in the back of my mind and in my heart, I know, first of all, trusting him. Yeah. And he's opened doors to things that I've always, how did that happen? And my mom, we have a habit. We pray every single day on the phone together in the morning. And she always says, if there's a part for you with your name on it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big your resume is. It doesn't matter your age. If God has a part for you, you're going to have it. Right. And that's true. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't have to stress. So in the meantime, he keeps providing. I get to do my training and get to meet all these people, and it's great.
If we keep keep the purpose as the bottom line of what we do, our family and our children, our family, our husbands, our wives, our career, whatever. But the true purpose is for his name to be glorified. It really doesn't matter how he does it, as long as you say, I'm willing.
Yep. Yeah, I remember one of my spiritual moms, if you will, when I first moved to Georgia, she had a group of us, for lack of a better words. It was like, you know, a small group. And at the end, part of her gift to all of us was that she took our names and said, this is what your Hebrew name would be. And there's this woman somewhere in Georgia, actually, that I guess does this whole thing of like what your name in Hebrew means and all these things. So my name was like Daphna, and she knew nothing about me. And she said, your name means shining fame. And I was like, yes, but for his fame.
Yeah.
Not that he needs to be made famous, but that's my goal, is to be shining so bright for him that it's all about him. It's not about if I was on whatever show or whatever. It's about him, whatever vehicle that is. If he wants me to be a door greeter, fine.
And God's blessings upon us.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. God's blessings upon us isn't what isn't valued in what our world values, what you think his blessings are. He blesses us according to what his call and plan is for us. It doesn't matter how many films you've been in, or if you are a worship leader in front of the church, or you're the pastor, or you are just inviting somebody to church. Each time that we do something for God, he says, you're following what I need to do, and that there's an award for that. I often mention about the crown that we're going to get in heaven. He said there's going to be we'll be given a crown, and I tell people I want that crown to be shiny. I want a lot of diamonds and sapphires on it. I want to, but you know, God doesn't give us awards for our crown based on the number of people that we reach. He does it because of our surrender and what the willingness to do what he does ask us to do. And by the way, when it's all said and done, what I am going to enjoy doing most of all with that crown is casting it at his feet, and for him to say, well done, my good and faithful servant. That's what counts.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
So your personal training experience also allows you to talk to people about their physical health, and then and it probably opens doors for the holistic approach of spirit, soul, and body, right?
It definitely does. I mean, they are connected.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're high stress and you're eating bad, and you know, it's going to take a toll on your health. It's going to take a toll on your weight, all those things, your sleep. And that's, you know, it's funny is when I finally did surrender to God, I had a lot of health issues that went away too. Seriously, I had insomnia that went away. I used to have this like dizziness sometimes after I'd eat. Like I was, like I said, hypoglycemia. They could never figure out what it was. I spent all this money on doctors. Gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, there is definitely a connection.
When depending on how you're watching this interview today, you may be seeing it on different platforms. But down in the comment section and the description section, comment section on Facebook, and in the description section in my YouTube, you're going to see some links that I'm going to put down there, so that you could see the movies that Robin has been in, and the several TV series that she's been involved with, and also can see what she's doing in the future, as well as, you know, her Facebook page and all that sort of stuff. So you could keep in touch with her. And I'm excited to see what God has in store for her, not just in film. God may not be done with her with that as well, but just in general, because of her willingness. God doesn't look at your abilities, folks. He looks at your availability. And because of her availability to say, whatever you want, God, whatever you want. So we're going to put that down below, but I want you, after this interview is over, to take the time and pray for Robin, that God would just bless her. You know, acting and looking to be in films and to TV is all about rejection. I mean, they tell me over and over again, oh, there's a lot of rejection, but God doesn't reject her. He doesn't reject you. God's got a plan, a hope, and a future for you and for her, but she needs your prayers so that God would continue to use her. So please pray for Robin today after this interview is over. Thank you, Robin, for joining me for Morning.
Thank you. It was fun.
Thank you. And thank you for joining me as the audience for Morning Moments. And I'm going to ask you, if you would, keep coming back, and may God richly bless you.